Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Levin wants Joe Biden to be impeached and removed from office. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be here for the live stream at around 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. Pacific today. I can read you Yahoo News. Mark Levin says Biden should be removed from office. Fox News. Mark Levin demands a reticent GOP craft Biden impeachment. Newsweek. Mark Levin pushes Joe Biden impeachment. Isn't it time to remove him? I agree with Mark Levin. Not necessarily for the reasons that he stated. I have friends who are dreamers. I want dreamers to become citizens. President Trump offered Democrats a deal. That is a fact. He offered Democrats a deal for dreamers to become citizens. Democrats did not take it because they couldn't give him a political victory at all. Instead, like they do with Medicare for All and Green New Deal and student debt and everything else, everything from packing the courts to defunding police, which we'll get to in a second, crime is up, exponentially in Biden's wonderful America. Wonder why? You look at what Democrats promise and what they deliver on, there's a complete disconnect. Okay? They promise the world and deliver on nothing, generally. And that's a fact. You can look. Have they passed Medicare for All? They won't even vote on the House floor. Even AOC and Bernie Sanders won't because they say, it's not realistic. It's like, well, then why did you pontificate and preach for 5 years on this? But anyway, like I said, I might not agree exactly with the reasons that Mark Levin gave, which, by the way, are rational, logical, and he's right in a certain respect pertaining to certain reasons that he gave. Okay? When our beloved vice president was asked, hey, have you visited the southern geographic region of the country? And her response was, I didn't go to Europe. Well, that's not what you were asked. That's not what you were asked. The question was, have you visited a location that you're in charge of, where there's 16 times capacity? Yet another topic or policy, yet another subject that Democrats promise the world on and pontificate and preach. And by the way, there's a Senate report during President Obama's administration that was worse, that talked about things, I couldn't even talk about them because of YouTube guidelines, that talked about things that were worse than anything that happened in President Trump's administration, and I was against separation. Very much against that. What happened during President Obama's administration was worse, but you can't get morally superior, oftentimes apoplectic liberal Democrats to look at the facts. Now you have a situation, by the way, be here 4:30 p.m. I think I mentioned that just now. 4:30 p.m. I'll have a live stream today. And if you want to support this channel via the super thanks, that would be so wonderful. The super thanks button is below, right next to the like button and right next to the share button. And it's like super chat for uploads. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like a lot of people who are democratic socialists and who are facing a discrimination case, by the way. My channel is like really viewer funded, you sharing the segments, you being on the live streams, and you supporting the channel. So I just thank you. And just thank you very much. If you want to support the channel, the super thanks is below. But ladies and gentlemen, we have crime that's soaring throughout the country. Washington Post, we don't know why violent crime is up, but we know there's more than one cause. Well, yeah, we know generally why violent crime is up. You have tanked American societies, we know it gleefully, in part to save people, and the road to you-know-where is paved with good intentions, so that didn't really work out. And we're seeing right now a resurgence of you-know-what. So the wonderful experts were wrong yet again. But you don't completely end life as we know it and also call for defunding police and vilify police and then just, for political purposes, have Adam Kinzinger shed tears when it's politically useful or there's political utility for him and Cheney and Pelosi, but then Kinzinger doesn't shed any tears when actual police buildings are set in flames in numerous cities months before November. Gee, where was CNN? Oh, that's right. They were saying fiery but peaceful. Notice the difference in the outrage and indignation. That's why 74 million Americans, one reason why 74 million Americans will always vote for President Trump, because he points that out. Is Trump perfect? No, he's not perfect, but we had record low unemployment, and he signed the First Step Act, and he allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. Fact. And made the funding permanent to HBCUs. No Democrat did that. No other Republican did that. President Trump got a greater percentage of the non-white vote than he did in 2016, and a greater percentage than any Republican candidate in 60 years. The one rebuttal is, well, Bush did better. It's like, well, okay. Dan Rather lost his job for writing a story that, or for publicizing a story that wasn't accurate pertaining to Bush. Okay, that never happens with Trump. I think three CNN journalists lost their job, but generally it's the Atlantic article saying that, we heard this. We heard that Trump said this or that without any evidence at all. Journalism has become blame Trump for everything without any evidence, accuse him of working with Russia without any evidence, believe in baseless nonsense, completely irrational accusations, accuse him of his tax returns. They have his tax returns. They found nothing. They didn't indict him or charge him for compelling people to commit violent crimes or acts months back, which is what the committee was about. Right before, by the way, the moratorium on evictions ended. So you have people that are facing millions of people, hundreds of thousands, I should say, facing possible eviction in a couple of months, and it wasn't even Democrats that helped them out. And then you have a June article, Wall Street Journal, U.S. inflation is highest in 13 years as prices surge 5%. We have the opposite headlines. We had wages increasing faster than a decade. We had record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment. What was so bad? Was it so... Are you such a narcissist, morally superior, left-leaning voters? Are you such narcissists that Trump's tweets overshadowed record low unemployment? I want to know this. I just want to know. If you have an answer below, please give me an answer below. We know you don't like Trump's personality. And even I've critiqued, said, you know what, just if he could just tone down a little bit. If he got off social media, history would be different. In last year, if he was off social media, history would be different. But you would rather have inflation at the highest it's been in 13 years, prices surging at 5%, violent crime at surging, and then the rebuttal is, well, the 90s were more violent. Yeah, okay, so how does that make things better? That's not a rebuttal at all. Biden's America is not what it was marketed and sold to be. The media meltdown was one of the reasons that you have, people who just can't stand Trump. Because every allegation was pursued with, this religious, zeal. This fanaticism. But, really, the impeachment, the Trump Republicans will take over the House in 2022. The impeachment will be based on his son's emails. Based on his son's emails. He lied through his teeth. He didn't, and you want to talk about returns and everything. It's like, well, Biden was never rich. How's he rich now? Very simple answer to that. And you have those emails where his son in a drunken stupor left his laptop. You can't even make this up. Showing that the president met with business associates. They're giving either the notion or the allure or the false hope of giving access to top levels of the government or actually doing something like that. Either way, it's pay-to-play schemes, quid pro quo. These are things that they accuse Trump of, conflicts of interest. And everything they accuse Trump of, they're guilty of. President Trump's not perfect, but he's not what they say he is. And for those reasons alone, I mean, you look at Biden is, how do I say this? Mark Levin basically alluded to the lights are on, but nobody's home. So if the Republicans, when the Republicans take over the House, you have Trump Republicans, impeachment, payback will be a you-know-what. They impeached Trump twice. They'll impeach Biden. And you better believe the same people who impeach Trump will say, oh my God, the end of the world. Give me your thoughts below. Mark Levin's right. I might not agree exactly 100% with certain reasons. I mean, I understand the logic and the rationale. Or I should say, maybe I focus on other reasons, although I agree with him on a lot of what he said. Give me your thoughts below. You think Biden should be impeached? Give me your thoughts below. Be here at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to super thanks this segment, the super thanks is right next to the like button to the